Now these icons look like rubbish, so we're going to make way better ones. We're going to use Fontawesome Icons. And to do that, we're going to go to the Fontawesome documentation here, and we're just going to follow this. It's going to be pretty simple. Make sure it's for React. Well, you don't actually have to go to this yourself. You can if you want to, or you can just follow along here. Copy that. And I'm just going to cd into our app. Make sure you cd into the app. If you do it in the root, it's going to not work, and you're going to look like a fool. Okay, then we're going to need to run the pod install. Now we can run this. We used a different one a minute ago, but we just run that. We could also do the npx React Native pod install, something like that. I can't remember what it was. Whatever. Then we're just going to use the free solid SVG icons. We're not going to worry about any of the others. Just going to install that. If you want other styles or the pro, all this type of stuff, you need an account and a token, like a pro account token for this, which you need to set up. It's annoying. But we're just going to use, as I said, the first one. We're just going to use solid icons and the free version. So we're going to cd back out of that iOS folder, which it popped us in, clear, and we're going to create a new folder inside our source. We're going to call it core, which is going to contain some core functionality, if the name didn't give that away. So we're going to call this fontawesome.js. Oh, we forgot to install that. My bad. My mind is erratic. So we're going to install that first, and then we're going to import it all. And we're going to import it all in the simplest possible way. You can see the documentation here. How do we use it? So we need this library. So we're going to import this library here. Import library. We're going to import all of the free solid. So that's going to be solid. And then this is going to be FAS. That's going to get all of the Fontawesome solid icons, every single one of them. We're not going to pick and choose. Now, we would want to pick and choose like this, where we just pick out a specific icon and then add that to the library. With this FAB or FAS, in our case, we're going to add this to the library, and we're going to add every single icon, so we don't have to worry about, oh, did we include that one into our did we include that one into our library, blah 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 blah. We're just going to include all of them. In the real world, you would probably want to only include the icons you're going to use, as opposed to including them all. But for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to import all of them. Now we need to import this into our main app, which we're going to do in our main app JSX, this one up here. So it's going to be included for the entire project, and we're just going to go import. We're not going to import, we're just going to import the entire contents of the Fontawesome file. So it's going to go here, source, core, Fontawesome. That's all we're going to do. And that's going to import all this, run it, blah, 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 everything we need. So that's just separates it out into its own little file, folder, whatever, which is good for us. And then once we do that, we need to rebuild our app, sorry. So we come back here, we're going to make run. CD back out into the root, make run, and that's going to rebuild our entire app. Our simulators and whatnot, we're going to rebuild. Alrighty. That's rebuilt. Now we're going to actually use them, our new icons. So the first place we're going to use them is we're going to add 1, 2, 3 icons to our tab view. So we're going to go to our home, and we're going to update the options for our tab view. So to do that, we're going to add some screen options. Find all this in the documentation. You kind of have to dig through it a bit. In the guides, tab navigation, customizing the appearance, here screen options, blah 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 blah. So yeah, just if you want to explore this yourself, this is all in the documentation. I'll just show you what I've done. And this will allow us to actually set or return the icon, the actual object, depending on the route and depending on what's going on at the time. So we're going to have 3 different icons, and we're just going to place the name of them in a dictionary that correspond to the actual names 1, 2, 3 request, friends, profile of the screens. And so when the route name, the route that has a few properties, when the route.name is equal to this one, requests, we want to return, or we want to grab the bell icon, which is going to be sensible because our requests, notifications, roughly speaking. I feel like that works nicely. Our friends, for that we're going to use the inbox icon from Fontawesome. And if you want to look for custom icons using Fontawesome, so it's really easy, Fontawesome search. You can tell I've been here many a time. So I'm going to search for profile. And then, oh, I like that one. That looks great. And then I come here, and then the actual name of it is just user. And you can see here, FA user. We don't need this FA. I think you can include it, but we don't actually need to include it because we don't need to differentiate between, solid or anything like that. We could just use the username. Trust me. Trust in me. And the inbox icon. Let's just show you that one. Inbox. This one here looks great. Trust me. And then profile, we're going to use the user, the one that we just saw. We're going to use that one. And so const icon, we're going to pick the actual icon, icons, route.name. It's going to fetch. It's going to fetch the icon that we want, and then we're going to return the Fontawesome icon, which we're going to go back to the documentation here. So to actually use it, we're going to use this object. So we're going to have to import this Fontawesome icon. So we're going to have to go at the top, and let's just import that Fontawesome icon. And we're going to return a Fontawesome icon. I'm going to go icon is equal to icon. The size, we're going to give it 28, something like that. 26, no, this one's good. And then the color is going to be equal to this color that we are provided with. And we're going to set the color as well of the tab. going to set the tab bar active tint color. I'm going to set that to like a dark. See, I think by default, actually, you know what? Let's just do this first. And it's refreshing. Let's hit R and make it refresh faster. Hopefully we didn't break anything. There we go, look at that. We got some sexy icons, if I do say so myself. But they're blue, we don't like the blue. Blue is, yeah. We're going to change this to sort of like a dark. So the theme of our app is going to be quite dark, as you probably saw in the preview. We're going to just give this a not quite black, but quite dark color. And Android updated that, but iOS didn't. There we go. That looks nice. And I'm not a fan of the text either. I just want the icon itself. That to me looks a lot cleaner. And so the way we can do that is we can set the screen. As you can see, the screen options has got heaps of different things here, which we can set all sorts of stuff. Tab bar show later. Yeah, call that false. Save it. Come back, and now we just have the icons themselves, which I like. I'm all about it. I think it looks great. All right, awesome. Actually, while we're here, we're going to add another button. We're going to add a button over here, which is going to be our search button, which is going to be visible on all three pages, or all three tabs, I should say. It doesn't matter which one. And while we're at it, we're going to just we're going to just change we're going to add, a header right, and then providing it with a function, we're going to return an actual icon and also a button. And you'll see why we're doing this in a moment. Touchable opacity, and then we're going to return a Fontawesome icon. The color, we're going to make that dark, but slightly lighter than the other ones. The size, what size will we give that? Make it a little bit smaller. And the icon, or the icon name itself, will be the magnifying glass for the search. This is going to be for a, so we'll drop this down on a new line here. Now we'll save that. And didn't update. Let's refresh. Huh. Ah, that's why. We gave it curly brackets, and if we give it curly brackets, we need to actually drop in a return statement like this. But if we give it, just normal brackets, save that. There we go. We've got a little button up there, but we need to give it add a style, call this style, and we'll give it a margin right of, I don't know, 16. Save, and that pushes it across there. Boom! How easy was that?